So for our first example in section 1.3 dealing with the 12 basic functions, we're going to be looking at several different characteristics and notations. And so we'll start with what we call end behavior notation. Now just a little background on the word notation in math. Remember that doesn't mean a new topic. It just means a new way to express the topic that we're looking at here. So we're going to take a look at end behavior. So end behavior, just a reminder what that is, it's what happens to the graph as I go out to the right side or the left side forever. So you'll notice that this graph is going out that direction, both directions, and we'll be able to kind of just comment on where it's going. Now the notation that we have is going to be what you see right here. You'll notice that it says LIM. That means limit. You'll hear that word a lot in this class, the limit of something. So this notation, what it means is it means the limit as x approaches negative infinity of f of x. So in other words, when you're looking at this graph, x approaching negative infinity, where x is left to right, so we're talking about what happens as this goes out to the left forever. So sometimes when I'm starting these, what I'll do is just label that as an L because we're talking about the left. Here you'll notice it's a limit as x approaches positive infinity, so that's going to the right. Now with limits, and it says limit of a function, for a true limit, you want it to actually just approach a number. And so you're looking over here for what number does that get really close to. And as we're going to, so if we're talking about the left, as it goes over this way forever, that line gets really close to 0 but never quite reaches it. On the right hand side, that line gets really, really close to 1 but never quite reaches it, but we still call it exactly 1. And so that is the limit on each side for that first one. The second one uses the exponential function. We've got a little bit different one going on here. The first one was logistic. We'll talk more about that in coming days. But the exponential function is a little bit different because now we still use the same notation. This still means left and this still means right. But now we're going with a different function here. As this one goes to the left forever, you'll notice that it's also 0. However, this one is just going almost straight up. And so when it goes up like that, we can't really have a number that it approaches, but we just sort of say, well, it goes way up. A way to denote that is by putting positive infinity. If it were going down, we would put negative infinity, but that's just a way to indicate which direction this thing is headed as we go over to the right forever. And then one more thing about this limit notation is you guys will need to know how to write that on a quiz or a test. So get familiar with that notation, as it will come up a lot this year. You'll see it from time to time, and it's just a different way of writing something that you probably have worked with in the past already.